Shah Faisal bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud was more than a king. He was an enigma who transformed Saudi Arabia and challenged the world order. His life was a tapestry of ancient tradition and 20th century realities, marked by personal sacrifice and conviction. With faith in one hand and global finance in the other, Faisal brought the West to a standstill. Not with armies, but by turning off the oil taps. To understand modern Saudi Arabia, you must first understand Faisal, the architect, the reformer, the tragic hero whose legacy still shapes the kingdom. Prince Faisal's story begins not in a palace of splendor, but in the vast, unforgiving crucible of the Arabian desert. Born into the heart of the Najd, his character was forged by its stark realities. His early life was marked by profound loss. His mother, a descendant of the religious reformer Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, passed away when he was just a boy. This, combined with a strict Wahhabi upbringing, instilled in him a deep, unwavering piety and a disciplined austerity that would define his existence. In 1919, at the tender age of 13, his father sent him on a critical diplomatic mission to Europe. In the wake of World War I, the young prince, clad in traditional robes, navigated the corridors of power in London and Paris, a boy from the desert meeting seasoned British officials. It was a baptism by fire in international diplomacy. He observed the machinery of modern states, yet remained steadfast, never forsaking his prayers or cultural heritage. He returned a prince with a new understanding of the world. His father tested his mettle, placing him in command of military campaigns to unify the kingdom. He proved a capable leader, culminating in the conquest of the Hejaz region. By securing Mecca and Medina for the House of Saud, he cemented his family's legitimacy as guardians of Islam's most sacred sites, earning the loyalty of Bedouin warriors and the respect of statesmen. From his mother's lineage, he inherited faith. From his father, King Abdul Aziz, the art of statecraft. From his travels, a global perspective. This fusion forged a quiet, thoughtful leader. The desert taught him endurance, the world, the complex game of nations, uniquely preparing him for the challenges ahead. After King Abdul Aziz's death, Saud's lavish spending plunged the oil-rich kingdom into debt and chaos. Faisal, as crown prince, saw the crisis as a threat to the nation's future. Granted executive powers, he slashed royal stipends, introduced the first national budget, and restored order. But the uneasy power sharing with Saud led to ongoing instability. Faisal's vision was clear: transform Saudi Arabia from a personal fiefdom into a modern state. The struggle between the brothers was not just personal. It was about the soul of the nation. Faisal's path to reform was blocked, but his resolve only grew. The year 1964 marked a pivotal turning point. After years of concern over state mismanagement, a powerful consensus between the royal family and religious leaders led to the deposition of King Saud. In a decisive but bloodless move, his brother, Crown Prince Faisal, formally ascended to the throne. This was not merely a succession, it was the dawn of a new era, charged with the promise of stability and purposeful direction for the kingdom. King Faisal immediately launched an ambitious program of national development. His sweeping reforms aimed to build a modern state, overhauling infrastructure with new roads and hospitals, and restructuring the government into a formal bureaucracy. Perhaps his most revolutionary reform was introducing state-sponsored education for girls and women. He championed this personally against fierce opposition from conservative elements who saw it as a dangerous break with tradition. Faisal's greatest tool against this resistance was his own unimpeachable piety and deep knowledge of Islam. He skillfully argued that progress was not a departure from faith, but an Islamic imperative. This message was amplified by his personal example. He rejected royal excess, living an austere life, and maintained the tradition of the Majlis, or open council, where any citizen could petition him directly, keeping him connected to his people. His leadership masterfully blended tradition with transformation. He acted as the nation's patriarch, its chief judge, and the CEO of a modernizing state. He was building a new Saudi Arabia anchored in its Islamic faith. In doing so, Faisal's reign redefined what it meant to be a modern Muslim nation. His quiet, determined authority didn't just change the kingdom's destiny, It set a new standard for leadership throughout the region. For King Faisal, the issue of Palestine was not merely political, it was a profound personal and spiritual wound. His deep anguish over the occupation of Jerusalem, a city of immense religious significance, was a constant source of sorrow. This pain, coupled with frustration at the West's unwavering support for Israel, drove him to recognize that Saudi Arabia's vast oil reserves, the very lifeblood of the industrialized world, could be transformed from a commodity into a powerful political weapon. The moment of truth arrived in October 1973. As the Yom Kippur War raged, the United States initiated a massive airlift of military supplies to aid Israel. For Faisal, this direct intervention was the final straw. In a move that sent shockwaves across the globe, he masterfully rallied the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries, persuading them to impose a complete oil embargo against the United States and its allies. It was a declaration of economic warfare. The impact was immediate and devastating. Global oil prices quadrupled, plunging Western economies into a painful recession marked by stagflation. The abstract concept of energy dependence became a harsh reality, seen in endless lines at gas stations. Without firing a single bullet, King Faisal had brought the world's superpowers to their knees, exposing their greatest vulnerability and forcing them, for the first time, to take the Arab position on the conflict seriously. Overnight, Faisal was transformed into a towering global statesman, hailed as a hero across the Muslim world for restoring a sense of dignity and power. The 1973 oil embargo was a historic turning point, definitive proof that economic leverage could be as potent as military might. Faisal's audacious gambit permanently rewrote the rules between oil producers and consumers. The world would never look at Saudi Arabia, or the price of oil, the same way again. On March 25, 1975, King Faisal was assassinated by his nephew during a routine majlis. The shocking act stunned the nation and fueled endless conspiracy theories. Faisal was buried in an unmarked grave, his humility reflected even in death. His true legacy, a stable, modernized Saudi Arabia and a new sense of Arab pride. Faisal proved a leader could be both devout and progressive, transforming a fragile kingdom into a global power. His tragic end left a void, but his vision and courage endure. Faisal is remembered not for his wealth, but for his faith, reform, and unwavering commitment to his people.